There is always more progress to be had, Kameraden. Just one more body to be stepped across and finally utopia will open itself up before us. Absolutely certain, Kameraden. Do not doubt it. Although, I remember when all this nonsense started, when the anti-fans moved into our hobbies and said, we just need a little bit more diversity. We just need a little bit more options and everything will be fine. Rainbows will stretch across the horizon as sugar-laced sunshine falls from the heavens. And yet, the pinky was given, and then the hand, and then the entire arm until we arrive at this point. Far Cry 6. Why the Ubisoft community should only play female Danny Rojas. Because it was, of course, the inevitable end point, and bear in mind as well that even if you got that, it would simply move the stage on to the next point on the progressive ladder. Though, the article does bring up one very, very good point here. It is time to hammer home the idea that women-led characters are somehow less interesting and popular. Is archaic. Now, I know what they were trying to write there, but the sentence structure... just not quite. I mean, I'm not saying any of these things, but I can see your argument, I do suppose. Oh, heavens. I remember when all of this began, because I talked about this in the gatekeeping video series, but I essentially mentioned that the only way to even begin to win against this is to simply reject the entire idea outright, 100%. Because even if you entertain the notion by saying, no, hold on here, we've actually had character creators for the last 30 odd years. We have literally had practically infinite variety in player control characters for literally ever, apparently. That merely entertains the idea. That's the pinky finger. And then eventually, of course, it continues, though. The interesting thing is, why the Ubisoft community should only play female Danny Rojas. The argument apparently being made here is that buying Far Cry 6 and playing the female character may be more effective than withholding money altogether. I've seen this very interesting narrative begin to pop up in a little bit of the mainstream gaming press recently, particularly after the whole Blizzard Activision debacle, or other way around, where there was a tweet where, I'm paraphrasing here, a member of the team, I think it was, basically said that you shouldn't quit World of Warcraft because you withholding your monetary support would hurt the team behind it, and if all of you good, kind people left, well, then the team would be stuck with all of the evil, toxic gamers, and who will stand up for the victims then? Already at the time I was like, okay, so Activision Blizzard is a company completely and utterly infused with this frat boy culture. Sexual harassment is endemic, according to articles in the company. Yet, we shouldn't boycott them. Okay. Something's off about all of this. It's almost as if this is more about a power play within the company rather than any actual issues, and I really do think that is the key point there. Now, the Blizzard Activision, flip that around again, lawsuit was already the pretty big first hint, where one of the opening lines was citing New York Times articles about Gamergate, and mentioning how Blizzard Activision, good God, was always run by white men. The wording there, as if that is inherently negative. You see, white people with a penis were in charge, ergo, you should give us damages, Judge. Okay. A somewhat progressive take, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. And now we're starting to see this in other places as well. No. Don't boycott the company, give them money, but make the progressive choice whilst doing it. Interesting. Now, if one were trying to take over a corporation from the inside, using identity politics. What might that look like? Well, incidentally, we do have the list of demands from Activision Blizzard, walkout employee demands. Right. An end to mandatory arbitration clause in all employee contracts. To be fair, I'm kind of in favour of that one because mandatory arbitration is often used as a weapon by corporations, and it's basically just like, please sign away your actual legal rights so that we can try and sweep things under the carpet first. I actually don't mind that one, though I can imagine what it would be used for in this particular case, because Californian legal system. The adoption of recruiting, interviewing, hiring and promotion policy designed to improve representation among employees at all levels. So, hiring based along racial and gendered lines. Active discrimination. Now, bearing in mind as well, since they weren't actually able to repeal the law in California, which says that the state cannot discriminate, I don't know about civilian code, like the civic code, but one would think it would be illegal to actually openly hire based on race, right? Even in California. Though, who knows? I don't know enough about the Californian legal system to comment on that, and frankly, I would not be surprised if a bit of positive discrimination was already on the books in that state. Publication of data on relative compensation, including equity grants. Equity grants? Why the hell should a corporation give you equity grants? Ah, hello there. I see you're not doing as good a job as that other guy, nor are you as highly placed within the company. Frankly, you're just not as important to our daily business, but here, have some extra money. Because reasons. Oh well. Promotion rates and salary range for employees of all genders and ethnicities at the company. So again, a racial and gendered breakdown of payments. Not job breakdown of payments, not work hour breakdown of payment, gendered and ethnic breakdown of payments. Ooh. Right, heading in the direction of Germany, I see. As always, the Germans lead the way. And of course, empowering a company-wide diversity, equity and inclusion task force to hire a third party to audit reporting structures. Activision Blizzard's reporting structures. So, diversity commissars. What was it I said would likely happen with all of this? Did I mention something about diversity commissars? I believe I did, weirdly enough. And then again, doesn't that make a certain degree of sense, though? After all, if you're trying to take over a company from the inside, you wouldn't want people to start boycotting your product. You wouldn't want the market value of World of Warcraft to crash. You wouldn't want to take over Activision Blizzard and then just be left there staring at the burning pile and go, shit. You may have conquered, but if you burn the village down in the taking of it, you're probably not going to be seeing a whole lot of taxers now, are you? I suspect we're going to see a fair few more articles in this general vein coming up very, very soon. In fact, there's another very fascinating one as well, which I'm going to be talking about in just very arbitrarily, off to the side, in a video about the whole Games Workshop debacle. And that is, of course, this one right here. GW shits the bed, pisses off the entirety of the fandom by doing something genuinely proper scummy, basically to try and further their own monopoly on a subscription service, and all of a sudden, a puff piece in The Guardian. Man, coinkydinks just will not stop, will they? More and more, the gaming media is returning to their long-standing and profitable position as professional fluffers for the, well, not the video game industry in this case, but rather particular factions within the video game industry. And see, this is a genuine weakness for us, the fandom. We are individualistic. We are people just enjoying a thing with no wider real goal or aim or interest beyond simply enjoying the hobby. Our opposition, bit more organised, sadly, and they are in absolute lockstep, ready to provide defence at a moment's notice, at the drop of the hat, without even necessarily mentioning the controversy, as in this particular example. Long battle ahead, but keep your eyes out for more of this, where it's positive discrimination. Only play the female main character, and definitely don't boycott the game for its lack of representation, because, you know, we're trying to seize power. But we need to be able to show some monetary gains as well, instead of the usual effect where we diversify our characters. We introduce female Thor, and yet our sales are still plummeting. Unfortunate. Oh well. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.